Welcome to Mastering Shells. Let's not pretend you're either here because your university professor told you need to learn how to work in a Unix shell, or you lied on your resume and you don't really know anything about Linux. Or you're my mom, in that case. Hi mom. Let's get into it. We're talking about shells. Today we're going to start off with how to navigate in the shell. That's what we're going to talk about. In particular, we want to talk about three different commands. We're going to talk about a command called ls, list, and what it can do. We're going to talk about a command called cd, change directory, and what it can do. And we want to talk about a command called pwd, working directory.
What?
What does pwd actually stand for?
Bruh.
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Print working directory. We're going to start with ls. As we said earlier, list. The ls command lists what's in your current folder. The current directory that you're in, the folder that you've opened. But there are caveats to it. First caveat, it does not list everything unless you pass in the parameter a, -a for all. And now we can see there's a hidden file. Files in POSIX-style shells are defined as hidden by having a dot at the beginning. If they start with a dot at the beginning, that means it's a hidden file. In this case, it's a hidden file. It's also called hidden file. But with -a, we can see hidden files. We can also see that there's a folder called dot and another folder called dot. You can see here folders are indicated in green in this terminal and files are indicated in white, which is handy to know. But we're going to look at these two folders in a little bit. Essentially, this is our current working directory, single dot. Dot is our parent directory, and we're gonna come back to that when we talk about change directory. But we can also run -l. This does list as list, and you can see now they're all listed as list. You can see the permissions, you can see the owners, which is blurred out for good reason, and you can see all the file names here. If you want to know more, ls is capable of a lot. --help almost all utilities on most shells and most applications even that are developed have a -help, and it tells you the options. Here, for example, you can see there is a lot of options. We have used -a, -all, and we have also used -l, use a long listing format, which lists them as lists. We are going to be looking at pwd. That one is actually pretty straightforward. We're going to look at change directory at the end because there's a lot more caveats to it, so we can get stuck into it. Pwd basically prints the working directory, does what it says on the tin. It doesn't have a lot of options. If you look, basically this is the default. It just prints it, and in most cases, unless you have symlinks in your folder, unless you're in a directory that is currently symlinked, it even shows the very same thing. If you can see, -p shows exactly the same thing as we are right now. Okay, now we've already done ls and we've already done pwd. Now we're gonna look at change directory. Basically, I hope you have seen a computer before and you've been in an Explorer window where you can navigate folders by double clicking on them or clicking on them, and you understand what a folder is. And when you click on the folder, you go inside that folder, and now you can see what's inside that folder. What we want to be able to do is change the directory to, for example, first we want to see what directories we have, and we want to change into folder 1. Now we are in folder 1. You can see here the slash indicates a folder level on everywhere but Windows. On Windows they're backslashes, but PowerShell does accept forward slashes if you're interested. So now we're in this folder and we can run ls again, and now we can see this folder actually has 2 more folders underneath. And we can again change directory into sub2, for example. And we can list what we have here. We have file b.txt. And so now these 2 folders that are hidden folders, technically because they start with a dot, come into play. So if we cd dot, nothing happens. Well, if you want to reference files in this directory, that's when you need this coming in, and we'll need that in future videos when we access files or execute files. That's when we need this to be able to tell the system, I want this file to be looked for in this current working directory. But right now, this just means we are staying where we are because we're changing to the directory that we're already in. Dot dot, on the other hand, very powerful and very useful in combination with cd. Cd dot dot brings me to my parent directory. So in this case, folder 1. Told ya. And I can go cd dot dot again. Now we're gonna move to the advanced stuff that actually makes shell navigation maybe more powerful than navigating in a GUI that you may be familiar with.
I am listening.
Okay, because we can autocomplete. You saw if I press tab, it autocompletes in the bash shell that I'm in. Bash is a type of shell, but most modern shells have autocompletion built in to some degree. I can even double tap and I get all available options that currently match this available pattern. Okay, let's go into folder 1. And we see there is, again, our subshells. But this time, we want to go into folder 1 slash, and we're gonna go directly into subdirectory 1. So we're never actually ending up in folder 1, and we're gonna end up directly in subdirectory 1. Why is that useful? Because cd minus allows me to return to my previous directory. So now you can see I returned to mastering shells. And if I press up 1 time, very useful, you can find your history. Your previous commands are all stored. But if I go in my previous command again, cd minus, now I can swap between the last commands. Even if I don't know, if I can't see where I came from, I can still return to my previous directory. That is very powerful actually, especially if you've got really long paths. If you're dealing with long paths and you're copying files or comparing files, cd minus, very powerful command. I also want to talk about this character, tilde. This is a shortcut for your home directory. So you can see it's mentioned here, and we are in mastering shells, folder 1, sub 2. Basically, this is cd in a nutshell. One last command that I'll give you as a bonus because you stuck around is the tree command. Tree. It prints all the folders in a tree branching style strategy, which can be very useful if you want to quickly evaluate what files are in there. But if you have a lot of files, it can become very difficult to see what's going on. This again is where help comes in, and you can sort the files and do lots and lots of things. Have some fun, investigate, and look around. To sum up again, what have we learned? ls, we can list folders, we can list them. If we want to list hidden folders or hidden files, -a lists everything. We can change directory, we can autocomplete, and we can print our working directory. I hope this was useful, and let me know in the comments what you want to learn about next.